Hey guys, how you doing today? It's me, Kelly. So this is a video I'm doing for Virginia. She had asked about doing transfers onto leather, and so we're gonna do it. So I have a picture here that I'm gonna transfer. It's just out of a book, but it could be whatever. If you're doing it from your laser printer or what have you, you could do the same thing. I've done it a million times with Mod Podge. I don't think I have any printer paper, but anyway, we'll do that next. So this is a purse that I had ripped apart. I was going to make a leather book cover, but when I ripped it apart, I wanted to save the pocket. So when I put it on, it had a pocket, and for whatever reason, it ripped. So I just had it sitting around and I thought, okay, she asked me how to do it, and we're going to do it. So I have my leather purse, I have my Mod Podge mat, and I have my brush. And I'm going to lay down some of my Mod Podge mat, and I have my picture. And I'm going to just put a little bit on there, like so. And I'm going to lay it down. And I'm going to give it a good push. Now, what you want to do is leave this fully dry before we take it off. Now, let me look. I have to have printer paper, something I printed out somewhere. Of course, every other time I go to get paper, it's typed on already, but let's see. Where are you? Oh, of course, why not? All right, we'll do it with this. So this is for my inkjet printer. It is just a recipe. So I'm gonna, because I know people ask. So I'm ripping it down so it's more manageable. And I'm gonna take some more Mod Podge and lay it here. Same thing. I'm just gonna do a little bit there. And I'm just gonna, you don't want to like go back and forth. You want to just kind of put on a stroke where you had it. It's easier if you're using inkjet, for instance. It's better to put the glue on your substrate, on what you are putting your inkjet paper on, whether it's a picture or this type, because it won't smudge as easy. So I'm going to leave these sit. I want them to fully dry, and then when I come back, we will take them off. Okay, here we go. So it's pretty much dry. It's so humid here, but I'm going to tell you that the chances of the gloss paper sticking to the leather is going to be, I don't know, only because they're both slick kind of surfaces. I probably could have roughed up the paper a little bit or roughed up the leather, if that makes sense. And I might do that on the other side to try it, but let's see what happens. Let's start with this one first. This was just our printer paper. And you spray with water and give it a second. Now, sometimes I will put warm water in my sprayer. I don't know why. I feel it works a little bit better, but it seems to, but honestly, you don't have to. So that's why I didn't today. I'm leaving it go for a second. And I'm going to go in and just start moving my finger in a circle. And you can push down. That's why you want to make sure your glue is dry, because your glue coming in contact with the purse. Now, of course, you could do this on whatever kind of purse or substrate you have. I was asked about leather. Now you can see I did not have glue on this part of my paper. So sometimes what I'll do is just pull it off so I can see where I glued it. So make sure you know where you're gluing, so you know you get what you want glued down. That's why it's important to put glue on your substrate, whatever you're gluing onto, as well as your piece, so then you know you're putting glue exactly where you want it. So I'm just pulling off some of this that did not have glue. Look at that, we're on the. Now, mind you, when you do words, it's going to be backwards. So something that you can, you maybe can do. Well, no, because then you'll have the words on the other side. So never mind. But this could be a picture. So that's the main thing. Okay, so I'm scrubbing it with my finger. You can hear it. Now here, you're going to see it wasn't dry. So what's happening is it's lifting. So that is a error on my part. However, if I decide to make this into a small book cover or what have you, I like things dingy. It's a beautiful leather purse, but you know, in great shape, but I want it more grunge and that kind of thing. It's just my gig. So this won't bother me, but you can see it's still a little wet and it's been 2 hours. And it's just so humid here. So, you know, if I would have left this dry overnight, much better. You can see it's a little bit wet here, just to give you guys some idea. So I'm going to leave this go for a second and let it dry. You don't want to rub too much where the glue's still wet because then it'll really start peeling stuff up. So you just kind of want to ignore that for the moment. And, you know, you pull off your little white bits that didn't, you know, that weren't supposed to be on there. Okay, so that is that. I'm going to give it a second to dry. So remember, this could be a picture you printed out. It could be a piece of your art that you printed out. Whatever you want to do, you can transfer it to the leather. Now let's do this bad boy. I'm going to squirt it, and I should have probably squirted it to leave it sit for a second. We're going to just do that. Daily meals. I'm doing my vlog for the day, and I did a real quick show of my cauliflower broccoli garlic bread, keto garlic bread, which it doesn't necessarily have to be keto. Maybe you're gluten free or whatever. It just is cauliflower, egg, and some cheeses. I put a couple cloves of fresh garlic in it, and then you bake it, and then you can put all kinds of stuff on it. So if you're interested, you can check out my vlog. That'll be going up later today. So subscribe down below. Click that button. Subscribe. Click that bell next to it. You get notified when I upload. Woohoo! All right, here we go. Now you can see this is really, because it's glossy, so I'm going to just use my nail just to get a little bit of roughness and then start doing this. I'm lifting it off. Rolling, rolling, rolling. Keep those fingers rolling. Oh, I hope I don't get copy stricken. I can't sing anymore. I can't do anything. Okay. Now you can see what happened there. It's still wet. Not the end of the world for me, but if you want a perfect, you know, you want a picture, leave it dry overnight. Or do it in the morning, come back to it later. You know, but I always say, like, if you have things like this that you need to let dry, I'm debating on whether to cut them and go down this short again, because these two broke. How funny. Both of these broke. So I did them a different color. But these are all mine underneath the, you can see, underneath the gel that I have on top. These are just mine with paint. But I've noticed because they're growing and they're fairly long with the RA, what happens is, or fibro, which is probably the fibro because the nerves, if I go to like hit, if I'm doing something and I hit it, it like sends shock waves. So I don't know if cutting them shorter will help me, although I hate to cut them down. I don't know what I'm gonna do. Oh, my tough life. But it does not feel good when they hit you. Those nerves, that nerve pain. Oh, it's bad enough it happens without hitting your finger. You know what I mean? But I don't know what it's connected to, like, run through my body. It gives me the shock. It gives me the goosebumps. Makes me miserable. Okay, so now remember, this is a dark purse, and you can kind of see what's underneath there. So I need to wet this a little bit more around it. Just to get this off. You can see that did not have any glue on it. So you could see the parts that are glued on as I'm going. And like I said, I got these. I'll show you my other thing that I got. All right, so, you know, we thrift stores. So I'm going to leave that go for 1 second. I'm going to spray it. Now you can see, look at this. Look at that coming through. But you can see down here, it's a little white still, so we're going to want to get that. But you can also see the pictures on here, and we'll get some more of that off in a second. I got this at the Goodwill, right, which is where we go. And I don't know how well you're going to be able to see it. And it is in awesome shape. It hardly, oh my goodness, wait 1 second. All right, pharmacy. It's going to ring for a second. So I got it, and then this leopard inside, which is like my favorite thing, but I got it for making journal cover, right? But so I got it for $4.99, which you cannot beat. But then when I brought it home, I said to Emily, I'm like, oh, I don't know, I might want to use it a little bit. See how beautiful. And it, I mean, it's like so my style, and it has the chain and the things. So I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know. Okay. So I'm going in a little bit more here. I'm all over the place today. Now, what I suggest at this moment is leave it dry again. So now, like even the glue underneath, like this is still a little wet. You could see, you know, where it's pulling off. So just leave it dry. And yeah, see, I don't want to do that. And what will happen is that glue underneath will continue to dry. So when you go to take this next white layer off, you'll get more of your, I'm not going to say it's not going to be vibrant. First of all, we're doing it on black. Second of all, you're transferring. So nothing's going to be perfect. You know, so keep that in mind. But that's what I recommend. And you will, let me do this right here. You will see it'll dry on. See, here's another wet spot right here. I don't know of the glue. Yep, it's gonna lift. Just right there. I can see where it's wet. I just want to kind of show you more of how transparent it gets when it's done. So I'm gonna stay away from the wet glue. And you can see, look at this. I don't know if you can see because the glare, but the texture of the leather comes through. Let me see if I can move this a little bit more. See that? That's all right here. This is all texture of that leather. And you can see, see the light helps. See how you can see that image coming? But you can see here it's wet. Here it's wet. Here it's wet. Here it's wet. You see what I'm saying? And then all this in here must have been a little bit extra glue. So he needs to dry. But, oh my goodness. So, yes, you can definitely transfer on a leather. Like I said, I could leave this dry and go back and show you, which, you know what, maybe I will. Maybe I will just so you can see. I'll hit it with the heat gun and all, and then I'll come back and we will take our next round off. But looking really good. And again, you know, if you're doing a purse or a piece of leather, book, whatever you're doing, and you're doing your art, this is all this is the ink. This is the inkjet right here. This is the picture from the book. I'm looking backwards in the monitor. This is just from my inkjet printer. So can you imagine, you know, if you're doing words, oh, poems. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'll be back when it's dry. Okay, so you could see it dried. And when it dries, you could see that the white, that's what still needs to come off. So let's spray this one. And then I'll spray this one. And we're just going to keep doing like we were doing. Getting that extra white off. Oh my gosh, the minute I put on the camera, I swear. Do it that way. Never stops. Okay. I'm just taking the rest of that off. Now you can see like right here, it's a little like ragged. So make sure that, you know, when you do put your glue down, you see what you want to keep. Like if you want it straight, if it doesn't matter. Do you know what I mean? Come on. Now remember, this is glossy, so it dried. Come on, baby. All right, I'm gonna leave that sit for a second with the water because that's not giving me what I want. Go back to the printer paper. Same thing. Now you could probably take like maybe a paper towel if it get, if your hands start hurting, and give it a good wipe. I'm going to give you a couple more little tips. But yeah, it's hard to see because, like I said, it's black on black. I'll pick it up so you could see. Okay. But it transferred. I mean, that is your piece. This piece with that gloss paper, I could see it. Come on, baby. It's right there. Just taking another extra minute. You can see it coming the more I rub it. That's what she said. Okay. I know, not funny. I always say I'm a 10-year-old little boy inside me. And he's laughing at all the weird jokes. Inappropriate jokes, I should say. Okay, now you can see. Now look what I did. I rubbed it off. Because I was too busy thinking about my jokes, so don't rub so hard. Although, Okay. So let's just do this. So you can see that part of that page is transferred through. Like I said, we're on dark here, as well as this came out really good. It's really hard for you to see on camera, which really makes me sad because it really looks good. But something that you can do, let's say you have a dark piece and you want to put, something over it. Take some paint. Now, Plaid Folk Art has multi-surface paint. Deco Art has multi-surface paint as well. You can use any of them. You could paint this white. You can, I think Deco Art also has leather, patent leather that you can paint and then transfer over. Let me see if I can get some more of this to show through. But you can see as it dries, there's still more on there. And that's just film from the glossy. There's nothing I can do about that. But I mean, I wish you guys could really see this. It's really hard because it's so, the letters match the background. But like I said, you can see this here. This just happens to be all the leather that I have at the moment. But you definitely can. You definitely can transfer. So, have fun. Do it and leave it dry overnight. That's your best bet instead of trying to get it in a couple hours because you can see like right here. Because, like I said, it becomes a little bit more of a task if it's not all the way dry. And using a very glossy, I would probably rough this up a little bit before you go to lay it down. So those are my suggestions. I may throw in a quick video tomorrow, like before I leave my art room. I might sand that down on the other side a little bit and put a glossy and let's see how that comes out. Like I'll paint it, that kind of thing. And just do a quickie, tomorrow to see how it come out. But like I said, you could see all this is the transfer. And so it works good and it's on there. And then you can, of course, go ahead and seal it if you want. You can use, a matte sealer, glossy, satin, whatever you want. But it would be, it'd be a lot of fun. So I am going to do something with this. And this won't bother me that it's like this. But like I said, look for tomorrow for another video. But definitely do it and have a blast doing it. So as always, please be kind to each other. You never know what battle somebody else is fighting. I love you guys so very much, and I will see you in my next video. Bye-bye.